G1C. Two guys, one crew, no spin, just truth. If it's in the headlines, we break it down, clear and direct, no run around. Talking points, no walking it back, real conversation, straight to the facts. America first, that's what we do. G1C bringing truth to you.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us at the most patriotic venue in the land, the America First Warehouse, and here on the America First Media and Television Network. We are Two Guys, One Coup, and today, folks, we have a couple of very special people. One, some of you may know from our previous show, and she's been on a couple times. That's Ann Vandersteel. She's an investigative journalist, independent broadcaster, and founder of the online news platform Steel Truth. She is known for reporting on border security, election integrity, and government accountability, amongst other things. We'll go into more details about her. But for the first time on the show, we are super pleased to have her partner in crime. They wrote a book together that we're going to get into. That's why we're here today. It's Maureen Steele. She's a journalist, author, and advocate focused on family rights, child welfare reform, and government accountability. That's the short bio. Let's, if we can, bring up both Ann and Maureen. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
I assume it's okay to say ladies, right? We're not those people. I didn't.
Last time I checked, you know.
Who am I to
that's my
misgender
husband.
somebody?
Are your pronouns we, them? I don't know. I just
Be her.
No, it's get her done. Get her done. That's
Get
my
her
pronoun.
done.
Let's get her done.
I have some more rude pronouns too, but I won't go into those. So thank you both for
Throw
being
it down,
here.
Dale. Throw it
Yeah.
down.
Ann, always good to see you. Thank you so much for coming back on. It's always a pleasure when you're on. We learn so much more, and today you two are just going to absolutely make the show more intelligent. It's not a high bar, really, honestly, for us. But I mean, that's, you know,
Good. I didn't sleep well last night. I didn't.
Didn't you? Okay, good. So, I haven't slept well in a while. Lots going on in here. But Ann and Maureen, thank you both for coming on. I don't know if you briefly want to go into some of the background, or do we just want to dive right into the book, the CPS pipeline, state-sanctioned kidnapping, which absolutely, I mean, just the title alone makes you say, wait a second. And I'll just say this real quick then before we go on. I'd say a lot of people think CPS, well, boy, it's a good program. It's really taking children away from really harmful situations, and probably does. Like any program, like any government ran program, it's probably well intended, but always gets flawed in the end. You might have more on this. So what struck me was what drove you to write this book, and what's the real story behind CPS? What are we missing here? And I don't want to give you the whole book because I want people to buy it, but you know, the Cliff's Notes.
We're missing the fact that, you know, if we had 500,000 Americans stuck in hostage situation over in, I don't know, Iraq or some other third world nation, we'd have the military over there yesterday getting them out. I mean, let's be honest. We have 500,000 children locked up right now, held hostage here in this country. America's built a child welfare industrial complex where children are removed from their homes under the color of law, and families are totally destroyed. They're shattered without any sort of meaningful due process. You have billions of dollars flowing through a system that is rewarding separation instead of preservation. So you tell me where there's anything that's great about protecting children in that model. It's a model to make profit off destruction of families. It's certainly not a model to help families and reunify if there really is a true exigent circumstance. And to that point, 85-90% of these cases don't even qualify legally to have a child removed. This is nothing but a factory of moving kids through a system, trafficking them, and destroying families. It's you don't have a great country. You can't MAGA if you don't make families great first. That's the bottom line.
Wow, Maureen, this kind of this is kind of your background as well, right? You've worked on advocacy for children in the past. What? Same thing? Is that kind of the same answer, or?
Yeah, the Adoption and Safe Families Act that Hillary Clinton wrote in 1997 and Bill signed into law, that is really what monetized, put like a dollar sign on children's heads. And so whenever you do that, especially in the government, it is ripe for corruption. And that is exactly what happens. So on the state level, things have gone wildly sideways. And, these family courts, they're not courts at all. They're administrative courts, and our Constitution says you cannot remove anyone's property without a trial by jury. Not only do they do it without a jury, they do it based on hearsay. They do it with not even a hearing in front of a judge. A CPS worker can go based off of a neighbor called and, your child's out in the yard and it's 50 degrees out and they think he shouldn't be outside playing without a jacket on. And next thing you know, all three of your kids are gone, not just the one that was out there without a jacket. And these kids typically in many, many states are gone for the full 15 months because that's what Hillary's putting caps on age brackets. So you have to adopt them out by a certain age. And so they keep them because there's money involved in it. And then many times they torture the kids. These kids are angry. They just left a good home. They're put with strangers. They're supposed to go with a family member if possible, or a family friend. That doesn't happen. They get more money if they place them in a group home. If you get a kid that acts out and you force them to act out, now you can medicate the child. Now they have a different classification, so they even get more money. And so they've really monetized the destruction of the American family, and this has turned into an $80 billion a year industry.
So when my experience with CPS, and from what I understand what CPS is supposed to do, is they come and investigate first. They don't just come and pull your kids. So is this happening? They're not even going in to check the home, check and make sure, check the kids for bruises, all this stuff. They're literally just coming in if somebody calls and says they're without a coat, and they take the kids out of the house.
They do that. But the thing is I raised 4 sons, like bruises, broken bones. I was doing it. They're falling out of trees. They're wrestling. And so they will take that and turn it into something other than what it is. There's mandatory reporters. We have legislation, and can speak to that. We have legislation that we have written and are getting out to all the states to end this mandatory reporting nonsense. It is just hearsay. And parents use it in divorce all the time. Neighbors use it, an angry relative, and you get the report, and your life is a living hell for the next year and a half, possibly longer. The kids are being adopted out. I'm dealing with a bunch of cases right now in Illinois where there's one judge that is terminating parental rights. There's 10 right now that she has terminated. So when you go into family court and with CPS, you are automatically looked at as belligerent. You are a bad parent, and you have to prove you're not a bad parent. Actually, behind me right now on my dining room table, I have a stack about this high of CPS records. And in those records are false statements. Parents are, we're very concerned about dad's mental illness. Well, a severe mental illness. Well, what is it? They don't say he's got schizophrenia. And even if he did, this can be controlled by medication. But dad's never been even to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. He's never been diagnosed with anything. Yet they put in the records, we're concerned about dad's severe mental illness. They come to take your kids, a mother starts screaming and crying. Of course she's going to. You're separating her from her child. Oh, well, we think mom has an emotional problem. Mom's not in control of her emotions. We need to evaluate the mother. In fact, now there's siblings there. We got to take all the kids now. Mom's emotionally unstable. It's gaslighting is what it is. It's what parent and what father isn't going to get outraged and terrified when their kids are getting taken from them for no reason at all.
Correct. Just made up lies and scenarios. I have, we got a minute left before our first break, but there was, personally, I know people who have the mother of the child, her mother, they didn't get along. They argued all the time. I guess the grandmother of the children was just a drunk, a loser, on drugs and all that, and just literally called CPS here in Florida. This is Florida. So this isn't a red or blue issue to me. This is nationwide in any city, in any state. called CPS on her, made up something. CPS came in, actually took her 2 children. She got them back, and she got them back within 30 days. But 30 days, they were placed in a different, like, in the child's mind, this could happen at any moment, at any time. And same thing with the parent. Like, this is, so I know personally that happens. Again, sorry to interrupt, but we got about 10 seconds. We just scratched the surface. There's so much more to talk about on this. Honestly, this just shocks me, and I'm so glad you two are here. So stay tuned. We've got a lot more to come.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just 2 entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW, making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single, Justice for All, with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. We'll get ready for round 2. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring. The anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see. A symbol of humility. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Blow up.
Warm.
All right, we are back. Thank you again for joining us. We have Ann Vandersteel and Maureen Steele here talking to us about their book, CPS. Why did I forget the title? It's right here. It's so easy. There it is, CPS Pipeline, State-Sanctioned Kidnapping. And that's exactly what it sounds like it is from the stories. Jim, you had a question you wanted to ask on.
Yeah, it's kind of a two-parter. And if you want to chime in, or I guess it doesn't matter, both of you can answer this one after the other. But the question that I had is, are there different states that this is happening more often than others? Yeah. And is a lot of it based on race? And what I mean is, I'm going to go the other way with it. Are there more white children being removed from homes then, or is this around all over? That's what I'm curious to know.
Sure. The state question is interesting because you've got, by raw numbers, you've got the bigger states, California, New York, Texas, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Those are sort of the states that hit the most. But the smaller states, West Virginia and others, by comparison, they are targeted more. And could it be because some of these states are less affluent? Probably. These people are less educated, don't know their rights, and don't know how to fight back, and don't have the means to fight back. As far as a race per se, really sad to say, Native Americans, yet again, we came to this country to make it great for everybody. And the Native Americans still to this day are paying a price, and they are targeted. There's actually a significant price tag on these Native American children. I know Maureen can speak to this in greater detail than even I can, but they're worth more. I mean, this is so sick.
So if your
child is disabled, they're worth more. If your child is acting up because they've been over medicated with something, then they'll dose them even more. And the more medications you have to give a child, the more money you get paid as a foster parent. You are incentivized not to help these kids, to poison them, to drug them, to keep them separated. It is totally diabolical. And, for the life of me, Maureen, I'd like to better understand the Native side, why the Natives are so targeted. Is this just a continued psychological persecution? Are we still trying to remind everybody that we conquered the United States? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Well, it is happening. I mean, 8 out of 10 Native women are raped in their lifetime. I mean, Native Americans are still harshly targeted, and that's what's reported.
Correct.
So the numbers are astonishing. But yeah, in your other races, Black, your Black community, your Hispanic community, immigrants, they're targeted. And again, they're behind the 8 ball. They're English second language learners. They don't know what's going on. And they're completely taken advantage of in this court system. And, you have a right to a fair trial. How can it be fair when you don't even understand what's going on? You're not given any of the paperwork so you can even defend yourself. This is an absolute railroading. It is kidnapping, and it's state sanctioned kidnapping. And when, they'll say, oh, we provide, a lawyer for them. And in some cases they do. But when you really think about it, what is a fair trial? You have a judge who's working for the state. You have the state prosecutor and CPS. They're working for the state. And guess what? We're going to give you a free lawyer, and they work for the state too. Like, they're all working for the same. Yeah. They're all working for the same place. That is not a fair trial at all, just on its face. And due process goes right out the window. They have these ex parte, that's an emergency hearing, saying, the kid's outside playing, in the yard in 50-degree weather without a jacket. They'll go in with an emergency hearing, and some other neighbor will say, yeah, I saw the parents outside last week. They had a barbecue and they were all out there drinking. Well, for heaven's sake, they were having a barbecue. I mean, welcome to America. That's what a lot of people do on weekends.
4th of July, they're going to go on a rampage, grabbing kids, because everybody's
grabbing kids from everybody who's having it.
So now everyone's a drunk and an alcoholic, and they're partiers, and then you've got to pay for drug testing, and your kids are gone. The kids are just taken.
Can I ask on this? So when after the kids are removed, and you said they're worth more, so Native Americans, maybe because they get funding from the government for being a Native American. Like, to me, it's the foster parents. It's quite the income they're earning off of all this.
Yeah.
Okay. And so do any of these children, and have they, as it been reported, have they been sex trafficked? Have they gone missing? Do they just?
Yes.
So, I mean, where are these kids at?
We don't know, and they don't even look for them, because as soon as you report them missing, this is our other book, State Sanctioned Lies, and that's what I'm working on right now.
Oh, okay.
You won't believe it. The foster care families that abuse the kids, and even when the parents that have some visitation rights with their children in foster care, the kids have bruises on them, burn marks, the kids are starved, the kids are drugged by a psychiatrist that has never even met the child, that is in another state, and they just drug the child, and the parents go to the court, file an ex parte themselves. They're ordered for a psych evaluation because now mom's crazy.
Of course.
Yeah. And so, the numbers keep going up for every problem. But the kids are diagnosed with mental illnesses that they don't have. Parents are diagnosed with mental illnesses they don't have. You're not allowed to go to an independent doctor on your own. Kids of all races are taken, but they give more money for children that are of their non-white race. Although I will tell you, this is across the board, every race. And you had mentioned earlier, is there any states that are worse? Some are. I think Arizona is particularly bad. Florida is actually particularly bad. They're all awful. I can't tell you that there's one state that it's good and this doesn't happen in, this doesn't happen in Maryland. Like, every single state this is happening in, because it's an absolute cash cow. And that's what it is. And they call it heads in beds. I've been told this by some of the CPS workers, they call it keep heads in beds, because that's what makes the money. And so you run out the clock. Do you know what's really sick about what Maureen just said with the heads in beds? Yeah. Is that some of these foster care homes get $60,000 to $65,000 per child per bed. We documented cases where children have been moved 20 times in a year, and every time that child lands his head on a new bed, it's another $60,000 to $65,000. So that child is worth $1.2 million a year if you just want to keep moving him around. Sure. This is what we talk about with trafficking. And one of the things we talk about in our book in CPS Pipeline State Sanctioned Kidnapping is that in 2019, the State Department, under Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, they present a trafficking in persons report every single year, and they look at global human trafficking, right? But they zeroed in on the United States foster care system as the #1 place for child predators to go and get kids to be trafficked in our own foster care system. This is 2019. And what are we doing today? We're writing executive orders to help increase funding for this system, when in fact, the best thing we can do is defund it, because there's no incentive to reunify when there's so much money to be made on moving these kids around. We've got to start looking like, why is it that when little Johnny is out in the yard playing and his jacket's not on and somebody decides that they're the parent, why not go out there and bring the kid a jacket and go see if mom's okay? Maybe she had an accident in the kitchen. You have no idea. Instead, you pick up the phone. We've been programmed to believe the state is here to run our lives and that we are wards of the state. We're not. We're free-thinking human beings. And if mom and little Johnny are fine with no coat, who am I to be the neighbor to go and narc on them and bring the state in? Totally antithetical to what our Constitution is, what the Founding Fathers is, and frankly, what God designed. He designed us to be free. And so people have gotten mind controlled over the fact that they believe big government is here to protect them. No, big government here to destroy your lives. I mean, this is what we talk about. I did a show last night with Silk talking about big government and the just destruction of our lives, everything from the financial sector all the way to CPS and everything in between. This is something that we have got to look at. And we've chosen this lane of child trafficking and CPS because children are our future. And, the state can count basically every dollar it attaches to a child after removal, but it should be able to count every dollar it spent destroying the family. That's how they need to look at it. And they don't. And so we've written legislation, and we're in the process right now of reconnecting with the state of Florida, because we believe Florida can be the benchmark state. And we want to lob this in front of DeSantis before he exits his term as governor, get his support and work with some of the folks we've talked to, and then get this lock, stock, and barrel across the line in the session coming this January, and then roll this out to the states around the country, as this is what Florida did. We're a benchmark, and we've now shown you a way and a path to get out of the state-sanctioned trafficking industry and into a more holistic approach with family taking care of it, churches jumping in, other local organizations, neighbors, etc. That should be the first responders, not the state. When the hurricane hits and your tree hits your home, did the neighbors show up or FEMA? Who was there first?
Who's there first?
Neighbors. Right.
Yep. Exactly. Has there been any traceability as far as suicide rates from the children who have been removed to the parents who
the parents kill themselves at a much higher rate than the kids do?
Jeez.
There was another case, Jessica Lee. Tell them about Jessica Lee, Maureen. That is just tragedy. Yeah, I mean, this woman, had lost her child, a good mother, couldn't get her child back. I mean, people go broke. They sell their homes, they sell everything. And as soon as you do that too, well, now you don't even have a home to take your kid back to.
Yeah, you can't give them back. You don't have anywhere to live.
Now, and mom lost her job because she's, losing it and she's trying to fight. So they set you up to fail. It's all, the whole thing is just gaslighting.
By design, it is.
This woman went all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States, and it was denied.
Jeez.
And she killed herself, and she committed suicide. And that it's a very, very high suicide rate for parents.
Which is exactly what they're hoping anyways. Right?
And it's hopeless. It's a hopeless system. Once you're in it, it is so difficult to get out, because the system is built to keep you in it. They tell you who you can go to for the parenting class, the anger management class, the alcoholism. It's all in the network, these parasitic agencies that work around CPS and family court. And they only get paid if you're sitting in a chair. Yep. So when they get paid twice, you have to pay $1,000 for the class. You have to pay for these therapy sessions, but then the state pays them too. So why? Where is the incentive to go? No, Maureen Steele, she's fine. She's great. She's
There's
a good
zero
mom.
incentive. Zero.
No one's incentivized for that. You only have a job if you keep these people in your office. So that's what they do.
I am absolutely shocked by this. And maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe I should look at, as I do most government programs, and we certainly found out about a lot of fraud and all that. This is worse to me. This is absolutely one of the worst programs and situations and explanations of a program and what's truly happening in one that I think I've ever heard in my life, honestly.
Well, what's worse is that there's only 1% of children that are taken that are truly abused. And when I say that, I mean burnt, put in cages, starved, beaten.
Sure. 1%. It's almost like the abortion argument, like the mother's life. We got 5 seconds left till this break, folks. A hell of a lot more to talk about. So please stay tuned. We will be right back.
250 years ago, a nation was born, built on courage, driven by freedom, defined by patriots who stood their ground. Today, we don't just remember that legacy, we wear it. This is more than a shirt. It's a symbol of strength, freedom, and pride. I'm Steve Stern, COO of theflagshirt.com, and I invite you to celebrate 250 years of the United States with us. Wear your pride, stand for something, get your shirts today.
Politics feeling broken? What if you could match with politicians the way you match on a dating app, but based on real values? Meet OpScore from Go USA, the first ever values-based political matchmaker. Think Match.com for elections that aligns voters with politicians. We score politicians on a nonpartisan scale based on your priorities. Track your politician scores and take our OpScore Challenge survey to match with leaders who align with you at opscore.org. Stop voting blind. Start matching smart. Politicians work for you.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Corporate transfer, fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won. It's not about what party. It's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
It's me, Joe the Box, and I'm John the Blanket with the America First podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Welcome back, everybody. Third segment already. This goes by so quick and so much to talk about. Thank you again, Ann and Maureen, for joining us today. We're talking about the CPS pipeline state-sanctioned kidnapping. That is a book that both Ann and Maureen co-authored. And where can they buy that book right now?
Barnes and Noble and Amazon.com, and our website, AmericanMadeFoundation.org, is simple. You just go there and it pops right up. Can't miss it.
Real quick before we continue, America Made Foundation, what's that about? Tell everybody who's just joining.
Oh, American Made Foundation is it's our opus. Maureen and I and Chris Burns set out to right the wrongs of big government. We, the whole idea that government is here to rule your lives is totally wrong. And we picked a lane with Child Protective Services because we realized the name is completely antithetical to what actually happens. And the children are our future. If we don't raise good children, what kind of government are we going to have when we're old and in our diapers? You know, as I always say, I'd rather have an awake child who values life changing my diaper at 90 years old than a woke child, because we know it's going to end up with a death needle. So,
yeah, you're right about that. You're right.
It's really about straightening out the wrongs that big government produces. And we've done documentaries. We did a documentary as well called CPS Pipeline, State Sanctioned Kidnapping. And we've written this book on it. We're going to do more documentaries, not only on this subject matter, but on other agencies that have gone rogue, because they all are. They ignore the Loper Bright Chevron doctrine reversal. They are just continuing to run roughshod over the people. And we got to stop it. But the way we're doing it through our organization is multi-pronged attack. It's real 5GW, fifth generation warfare. We're educating people through documentaries and books and podcasts. We are providing training to become a court watcher. So if you want to go and learn how to sit through a court and provide extra presence for the people who are being wrongfully accused, it helps keep the courts a little bit more honest, and you have bona fide documenters there. We're also writing legislation so that we can change this at the state level, because on the 10th Amendment, the states really have the power. They can refuse the money from the federal government if they're properly incentivized, and if they have alternative solutions versus just dumping them into the CPS system. So this is, media is a big offense play for us, but we have to end the removals, because they should be the last resort. They shouldn't be the first flex for the government. The state shouldn't just be able to go in, remove a child, unless there's a clear evidence of immediate danger or serious abuse, because, you can't use poverty or a medical disagreement or a vaccine refusal or homeschooling or religious beliefs or our parent asking questions shouldn't be enough to just justify government seizure of a child. Parents have to have real due process before the family is destroyed. So we are defining what's a real exigent circumstance that a child can be removed in legislation. And we're looking at all the aspects of the things they ignore. False accusations. There's no punishment that fits the crime. If you're wrongfully accused of abusing a child, and they take your child and you find out who the abuser is, that abuser, frankly, should go to jail. They just ruined your life up to 15 months or more.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Agreed.
That's life destroying. I mean, you might as well, and that's why parents take their lives. That's why children take their lives, because their lives are ruined. And so, we are very concerned about parents who are walking into courts unprepared. They're underrepresented, as Maureen noted. They're represented by the cabal, and this is true PTSD. When you get hit with something like this, you go into PTSD, which is why we have people through our Family First Coalition, Melinda Sherwood, who addresses the PTSD as your ADA. This is an advocate for the disabled, but PTSD is a disability because you just simply can't think clearly. We can talk about this all we want, but when it happens to you personally, wham, the curtain comes down and you're like frozen, deer in the headlights. So ADA usage, and we offer training for ADAs. Go help others in the courts, help your friends and family. So this is, as opposed to just being gaslit, we're giving solutions, we're educating, and we're on offense. We're attacking. We're going to be suing these government agencies at the personal and professional level, because they are wrongfully destroying families. And that's the only way you fight fire with fire. You got to go on their field of fight and hit them with the same tools they hit us every single day.
Wow.
Do you have any congressmen or senators or anybody that's helping you that might be looking at passing a bill that looks at this? So you do have some backing in that. Okay.
We're working with Senator Don Gates' office right now in the Florida State Legislature. We've been in contact with them since last year. And it took us a little bit of time to kind of pull all this together, because we studied some of the other states that had coverage that we didn't have, or where they had grave errors that we weren't addressing. So I feel like it's a very comprehensive bill. We also wrote something for the federal level. We work with Connie Reguly, who is currently right now in DC lobbying on behalf of what she does, the family she has represented in the past. But again, this is such a direct dagger at the heart of the financial system for these demons that love to traffic in children. They have basically suspended bar licenses for great people like Connie Reguly. They suspended our own attorney in our foundation's bar license because he's flying right over the target. And the flag that they could give him was suspend the license for a made-up cause he could have proved was wrong. They would not allow any exculpatory evidence in the bench hearing. So they're going to postpone the trial for as long as they can. Meanwhile, we have Peter Tickton standing by to represent him in the Supreme Court in New Hampshire. This is insanity, but it's the hurry up and wait game with these people, because again, ignore Loper Bright, they're in control. And that this is just wrong. It shouldn't be this way. The court should tell these agencies to stand the heck down. And they
so
don't.
Activist judges, Maureen, are you running into that as well?
100%.
Because that's how it's got to. I mean, that's the only way they can disbar. They can not allow evidence. It's got to be these activist judges out here. And where's their money coming from? Honestly.
Actually, Ann and I were on a call. I don't know if you remember that, Ann, where we were with some diggers, people that get on the dark web and they get all that stuff. And they gave us receipts that, they're so flagrant about it now. They're Venmoing and Zelling money to judges.
Wow.
Yeah. No longer bags of cash. We just Venmo you.
It's just digital.
But that's how they think they're above the law. That's how flagrant they are. They don't care because no one will touch
What kind of cash are we talking about? What kind of we talking about millions?
Well, I think at the end of the day, there's mortgages and all that stuff. Ann has done major digging on this. Where they use real estate, they'll buy you a new home.
Wow.
All of that.
They launder money through mortgages, so what we're like, again, we are trying to protect the most vulnerable, our children, they're our future. Correct. But then you also have the elderly in the guardianship program when people become wards of the state because they're declared mentally incompetent. But they're doing the same thing. You have family members that are turning on other family members because they want the estate and they're declaring people incompetent, they're elders, and the state goes in and takes them and then they immediately go and liquidate the assets of the estate. It's the same thing with a company I was talking about last night, the SEC liquidating a perfectly good, healthy private company because it didn't fall under the SEC's jurisdiction, but they made it somehow into their jurisdiction. And then they absolutely just, no, this company is bad. You're doing bad things. Meanwhile, nobody was complaining that was business, doing business with the company. None of the investors, small hedge fund, nobody was unhappy. They were thrilled. They were making tons of money. But what do they do? No, we're going to turn this over to receivership. You're bankrupting it. And they liquidated the company. $30 million, proof gone. And this is like, for what? Because you just want to get your hands on the money and because you have the levers of power. So they are just attacking those that they think they can. And again, this goes right back to nobody's paying attention that Loper Bright, the Chevron doctrine was overturned. Nobody cares. Nobody's following through to stop these agencies from going rogue. And that's what we're going to do. And that's what we are doing.
Good.
Is we're going to defund and defang.
Good. Are you, what kind of, I wanted to ask about social media presence and all that because we can all filter through Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, doesn't matter which one you talk about. And you see, here's a child that was taken away from a parent or something like that. And then you go to the comment sections and it's like, good, they need to be taken away. Like they're already guilty, right? Right off the bat. Yeah,
people are waking up. People are waking up, Dale. They are seeing that that's not the case. When you look, there is hundreds and thousands of Facebook pages out there dedicated to CPS and the horror stories. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. And you read the comments. When you see a comment like that, typically it's a troll. It's a fake comment.
Typically, there were some people I actually knew, and I was like, so I understand that, but there was a ton that wasn't. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying people are now becoming more awake, but they don't know how to organize and what to do, and that's what American Made Foundation is doing through our Family First Coalition. If you go to our website at AmericanMadeFoundation.org, you will find a tab for the Family First Coalition, and there you can learn how to be part of the process, how you can join. It doesn't cost anything. We're not asking for anything. We're just saying we want to bring people together because we as a group can attack a system with our intelligence, our voices, and the work that we're doing, like with legislation. We need to go and lobby these state legislatures and be like, look, here's the legislation. This is what we want passed. And we got to put pressure on them. This is how the system is designed to work. So we're going to work the system. But I'm going to tell you, Maureen and I are using media like a freaking jackhammer and a sword all in one, because we're just not going to take it anymore. We're not going to sit back and watch families be destroyed and our country go down the drain because mom and dad are trying to save their children. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of people? Go on, Maureen. Sorry.
Well, most children are taken under the guise of neglect, not abuse. And so part of our legislation is redefining what neglect is and what imminent threat is. Because right now, CPS decides what that means. And that can mean anything. Like I said, you don't have a jacket on out in the yard. Well, that's neglect. You know, you and I, normal people, think neglect is, well, are the kids not being fed? Or, you know what I mean? Are they sleeping on a cold floor with no blanket? I mean, that's neglect in my mind. I'm not thinking, these silly, nonsensical things.
Correct.
Perfect example. We did take in state-sanctioned kidnapping, our documentary. Parents went in with a 9-month-old healthy baby for a well child visit. This is 5 kids in the family. The youngest one went to the doctor. They were offered the vitamin K shot, which you're offered at birth. They denied it at birth. They denied it again, and they were reported for that. That was considered neglectful. And not only did they lose their 9-month-old, they lost all 5 kids for 15 months. And the parents were never charged with a crime. They were never charged with anything. And this whole family is still devastated. These kids are terrorized. The doorbell rings. All the kids absolutely have a meltdown. And the parents,
because it can happen again to the same family.
Right.
Because they already got the black mark on their file, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
and it's embarrassing.
Wow.
It's stigmatized. The parents or the teachers at school know, the principal, and you go in and everyone's whispering that family, lost all their kids because they're abusive, and you just can't get away from the stigma. It is depressing.
And that was kind of my point with the social media. As I'm reading the comments, they're already, people are back. They don't even know these people, and they're bashing them online, and so that. Which is what, bullying. I mean, what is the CPS doing? They're bullying these families is what they're doing. And so if we're so concerned about it, why the hell aren't, I'm so glad you guys are here. We're coming to the end of this segment. Again, it happened so quick. I hate to interrupt, but when we come back, we've got more. Just stay tuned. This is shocking to me.
Me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see. A symbol of humility. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
We are back. The final segment with Ann and Maureen. We are here for another 30 minutes after that, but they have a hard stop at the top of the hour, so we want to make sure we get some of these questions in. Briefly, while we're off air, I wanted to talk about employees for CPS. First of all, do we know the number of people that are employed by CPS in general, like across the nation? Like, what is that figure?
I don't have that statistic.
Okay.
I do not know.
Yeah, because I don't know that either. And I'm just wondering.
It's hard, Dale. It's hard because there's so many NGOs and 501s and whatever that are parasites attached to the money that comes in from the state. So just before Maureen goes into more detail here, the money flow is this. It comes out of the Social Security Administration, which is under Secretary Kennedy's purview of Health and Human Services, Title 4E, Title 4D funding. As the gross number goes, call it $80-85 billion a year right now. And that money is distributed into the 50 states into their version of CPS. Some call it Department of Children and Families or Department of Social Services or whatever acronym. But that money is distributed there. And from there, the state has contracts with all kinds of organizations, but including paying the courts and everything like that. So these other organizations, it's really hard to track it all, but it's the gross number is over $80 billion a year. And then there's going to be extra money that comes out of the state funds as well. So it's at least 100 billion. I would say it's 150 billion when it's all said and done a year. So to quantify the numbers of people is hard because those organizations change and so on and so forth, but the money never goes away.
Never goes away. Nobody can fathom what 150 billion looks like. Trust me, nobody can.
Right.
You can't.
Maybe Iran can.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
The pallets of cash. Sorry, I digress.
That's true. That's another show subject. That's for sure. I'd love to get into that. So I know. Maureen, if you can, you briefly said we were talking about the CPS employees, and you were talking about maybe some whistleblowers that have come out, which, what's happening to them, because they don't seem to be protected at all, and it seems to be nothing happening when a whistleblower comes out, maybe makes a news cycle a little bit, and then it's gone away. This must stick. So what's going on with the whistleblowers? What have they told you?
There are very few whistleblowers here.
I bet.
They are so threatened. Again, this is a $80 billion a year industry.
Sure.
So shut your mouth. If you're out, you keep your mouth shut because bad things happen. So there's a few brave people that have come forward, and I have interviewed them for our second book, CPS Pipeline, State Sanctioned Lies. Yeah. And so they are taught, like I mentioned earlier in the interview, the stack of paperwork I have with all the falsehoods towards parents. They are actually, according to two of the whistleblowers I've talked to, they are taught to lie, to take a fact and exaggerate it. Like, there's one woman we're trying to help. She was having an argument with her husband. They're from another country. She thought she could call the police, and he didn't hit her. There was no domestic violence. He was just yelling at her. She thought that he would come break up the fight, stop him and give him a talking to. Well, that's not what happened. She had half a glass of wine on the counter, and the child, an autistic toddler, was gone. She's being forced to divorce her husband and threatened, you'll never get your daughter back. They've forced her to sign. She has signed adoption paperwork. She doesn't even realize that she had.
Wow.
They lied to her as to what it was. And she's in all these alcohol classes and all this stuff. And this was a woman who would have like one glass of wine a week, maybe two.
Yeah.
And so now she's labeled an alcoholic, and she's in drug abuse classes. She's never done a drug in her entire life.
Wow.
But they're taught to do this. You take one thing, like someone's drinking a glass of wine, and you blow that out of proportion, that they have a substance abuse problem, and they're neglecting their daughter. Not only this, Your Honor, but the mother was drunk in front of her autistic child, unable to even care for that child. That child needs to be removed immediately. And
no way to prove otherwise. She's hopeless at that point. She
totally
can't prove
hopeless.
Otherwise.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the judges, again, like you mentioned earlier, the Chevron deference is right out the window. The judges don't even ask CPS, how did you come to this conclusion? How did you get here? And there's also a law saying that you have to place with family. If there's a family member available to take the child, you have to do that first.
But they're not doing that.
There's no money in that.
Oh, sure.
No money.
And then also part of the law is you're supposed to work towards reunification. So one of the other slick things they do is and all the agencies, the state agencies work with each other on this. So we're in Florida, let's say there's a foster home and a group home in Georgia. If the goal is heads and beds. So also the law says you have to reunify. What you do is you say, Oh, we have no beds here in Florida. We're all full up here. We have no choice but to send this 15-year-old boy to Georgia. Well, now mom's going to all these classes, so is dad. You know, and now, but you can't reunify until you have supervised visits with them. You have group sessions.
States away. Could be, who knows?
You can't do it. There's no way physically to get there. You don't have the money. You've been stripped of every penny because you're paying lawyers. So there's absolutely no way to reunify, and so the kids stay in the system. And this is what the White House is throwing more money at right now. So what I'm telling you is these kids that we shouldn't have a shortage of foster care, because 1% of kids that get taken need a foster home. And out of those, there could be family placement. They don't want to do it because you don't get the money. So that's what's truly disgusting, is they don't think about, you know, how the children feel, how terrifying that must be. And then they oftentimes put the children into foster care where they actually are abused, where they are burned, where they are starved, where they're stuck in the attic, where they're chained in a basement. And, you know, one of the whistleblowers I talked to, you know, they knew that this foster home was abusive, was a single mother who had 7 foster kids living with her on top of her own 2 children. And she was abusing all the kids with burns and bruises and beating them. And they were told to bury it. You do not talk about this. You don't say a word. And foster, this is really a remarkable thing too. You can be accused and in internal finding. They love internal findings.
Oh, sure.
They don't want it public. But okay, so this mother is an abusive foster parent. We're not going to give her any kids anymore. This is when it gets really bad. And so, but that woman can move to Georgia from Florida and set up shop again. And
that's it. So it's state by state. It's not even.
They can. Then you just go to Alabama when you get caught abusing kids. Move to another state. So there's no background checks on these foster parents. Well, there are, but it's the same one that you and I would get when we go to rent an apartment.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's it. Just basically a criminal trial. Go on, Ann. Sorry.
Well, because and what Maureen is leading up to, and this is what I think is incredibly important about the legislation that we wrote, is that the money must move from the family separation to family preservation. That example she just gave of this woman with 2 of her own kids, 7 more, and she's abusing all of them. This is the heart of the bill. These people are being funded to do this, and they don't care. They're doing it for the money. And when they can leave based on a background check and pop up somewhere else and set up shop and do the same thing again, it's a huge problem. This is child trafficking. It's child abuse. So we should not keep funding a system that profits after the child is taken while starving the very support that could have prevented the removal in the first place. Like in North Carolina, we did a documentary up there on what happened after Hurricane Helene. And that was a glaring example of families who lost their homes, were still paying mortgages on a piece of dirt, and were staying in hotels, and CPS was coming to the hotel saying this isn't suitable. But, you know, the families can't even get a permit to rebuild. They're in a rock and a hard place. Instead of giving them $3,500 a month so they can go rent a house and be a family, they're taking the kids, and it's costing the state $8,000 to $10,000 a month. This is like the sickness of it all. So the state legislation has to be framed where we're not weakening child protection. We're strengthening it by making sure the system is focused on real abuse, real neglect, real trafficking, real danger, instead of punishing poverty, medical disagreements, religious, whatever convictions, or parents who simply just don't know how to survive, you know, in a government machine. So this bill is very clear. It's going to tell the state, protect the children from abuse, protect the families from government abuse, and stop turning children into funding mechanisms. So it's really clear what we're doing here. And I do believe the inertia is coming, because Florida has been all over in the news a lot about cases up by you and near Pensacola, all over the state. And we this is one of the states that, you know, has the biggest problem. So we're going to stop it here. If this is the last thing Maureen and I do, this is the hill we're dying on. Right, Maureen?
Well, how soon are you going to be able to present that? And what do you...
We're already starting to rekindle our conversations back, because it's, you know, it's now 6 months out. And so we've got to start the process now. But it's packaged. It's ready to go. It's fully baked. It's fully baked.
Good. Stay tuned for that, because we want the details on that for sure. And I'm sure we'll hear it here in the Florida news. I'm just shocked, and I don't know if Jim is the same way, and we got 2 minutes left here. I'm just shocked that I don't hear about any of this. I say I'm shocked. Where am I going to hear it from, right? Unless I'm following people like you, or that's the only, or podcasts and all that. Mainstream media sure isn't going to tell you any of this stuff. You know, and I don't care what side of the aisle they're in.
Yeah,
Go on.
They bury the stories. I got to tell you another story. The hospitals are part of this system as well. This is really going to shock a lot of people. The children's hospitals, St. Jude's Children's Hospital, I have 2 cases out of there where, you ask for a second opinion and CPS is involved and you are threatened that your child's going to be taken away. You have a cancer diagnosis. They're not even sure if it's cancer, but it might be cancer. And if you want a second opinion on that, you're threatened. It's you're going to do 2.5 years of chemo on your 5-year-old, or not only is your cancer patient kid gone, all the rest of your kids are gone too. I mean, so they're forcing parents. The state is threatening parents. This is tyrannical. And so, we're dealing with one case on this, and the Pacific Justice Institute jumped in with us on this, and they're going to be suing St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Wow.
Voice case. It's an unbelievable case. A beautiful family on a organic farm, and they weren't even sure that the child had cancer to begin with.
This is crazy.
The child went through 2.5 years of treatment, and the doctors at St. Jude's called with 5 months left of treatment, called CPS and said that the parents hadn't given any chemo to the child, which was an absolute lie. They spent $5,000 a month on alternative treatments on top of the chemo to keep the child more healthy. I wrote several articles on this. He just wasn't dying fast enough for them.
Holy
so they called CPS and put this family through absolute hell. So the Children's Hospital are going to do it. They do this all the time. In fact, they have an office in most of the basements to do this.
Wow. Bill, let us run over just 1 minute because I want to give both of them an opportunity to tell us how people can find you, how they can follow you on your socials. We'll post it all over the place, where they can get the book, everything we can. And if you want to go first.
Go to our website, AmericanMadeFoundation.org, AmericanMadeFoundation.org. We're selling our book there. We've got some merch that I think is really cool with our logo.
It's cool. Yeah, I went and looked at it. It's super cool.
Totally bad. It's great. It's awesome. And then, of course, you can find our book on Barnes & Noble and Amazon, CPS Pipeline State Sanctioned.
138 pages of easy reading, honestly.
It literally, if you can't read this book in 2 hours, then you didn't.
Well, Jim could probably read it in a couple minutes. Me, I'm the slower reader. I usually wait for the movies to come out, but I will definitely buy this one because that's incredible. Everybody needs to have a copy of that.
We have a bonus chapter in there too for parents who want to protect their kids from ever being taken by the system. So definitely get the book. The bonus chapter is phenomenal.
Good. Yeah, Maureen, how can they find you? And then if you can, just tell us if there's one thing you want people to learn from that book, what would it be?
Just, to read the book. I mean, you have to educate yourself. Like you guys just said, we had no idea this was happening. Yep. But you can also support American Made by signing up for our Substack. American Made has our own Substack. We publish a lot of articles on there. So it's $5 a month and the money goes to support our efforts.
Perfect.
So, if people could do that, and people can follow me on Facebook. I do publish a lot of my writings on there. Maureen Steele on Facebook.
Yep. All right. Excellent. Well, both of you from Jim and I, and of course, Jim can thank you himself. I don't speak for him, but this was absolutely informative and shockingly informative and needs to be addressed immediately. We want to help any possible way we can. If you want to come back anytime, whatever you want to shoot us over, any documents, information, we'd love to report it. We will certainly push the book, push the documentaries, and follow your journey on this. And we thank you. God bless both of you for what you're doing, because this is absolutely shocking. And thank you for teaching us, what is really happening out there, because it's just shocking to me. Jim, anything before we let them go?
I'll make sure I get the book. And thank you for coming on. And this was eye-opening. So
eye-opening and shocking.
Thanks, guys, for
thank you
your
both.
Platform.
Oh, no. It's our honor. Absolutely our honor. Stay in touch, please, because we know we will. Thank you both. We will be right back after this.
250 years ago, a nation was born, built on courage, driven by freedom, defined by patriots who stood their ground. Today, we don't just remember that legacy, we wear it. This is more than a shirt. It's a symbol of strength, freedom, and pride. I'm Steve Stern, COO of theflagshirt.com. And I invite you to celebrate 250 years of the United States with us. Wear your pride, stand for something, get your shirts today.
Politics feeling broken? What if you could match with politicians the way you match on a dating app, but based on real values? Meet OpScore from Go USA, the first ever values-based political matchmaker. Think Match.com for elections that aligns voters with politicians. We score politicians on a nonpartisan scale based on your priorities. Track your politician scores and take our OpScore Challenge survey to match with leaders who align with you at opscore.org. Stop voting blind. Start matching smart. Politicians work for you.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Corporate transfer. Fine, professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won. It's not about what party. It's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
It's me, Joe the Box.
And I'm John the Blanket with the America First Podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino Podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side Podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. Podcast. Be free, stay free.
He kind of rushed it through.
Hey, we are live. Holy smokes. We are back. Again, our thanks to both Ann Vandersteel and Maureen Steele for coming on and discussing the problem with Child Protective Services, which I'm just shocked about it. And maybe some of you are and some of you aren't, but it's not something that was on our radar all the time, or certainly not something in the forefront. So we were kind of shocked about that. But go support them, AmericaMadeFoundation.org. Go to their website. CPS Pipeline, State Sanctioned Kidnapping. That's the book. Find it on Amazon and at Barnes & Noble. 138 pages. Jim could read that in 1.2 minutes. It's important everybody gets that. So thank you again to both of them. Jim, do you want to talk about so yesterday, the Supreme Court, as we finish out the final 30 or so minutes here, decided that, as I put it, as long as it's postmarked, we can count your vote up till 14, 16 years after. It doesn't matter. Whatever the state law is going to say. Okay. So mail-in ballots will still happen. The pre-COVID mandates of mail-in ballots and counting ballots will continue for probably the rest of our lives, Jim, before it ever comes up again in the Supreme Court. I don't know. Today, men can't be in women's sports. They agreed. It's a common sense law, right? There's no particular law, right? They didn't make a law, but they agreed that they can uphold this.
But if you're going to have Title IX, you cannot allow men to compete in women's sports.
Well, but you can change Title IX all you want. It doesn't matter.
But it's not changed. It has not been changed.
It has not. Yeah. It has not. So again, it was a common sense. Yes, that's okay. So they ruled on it according to that. I don't even know what the count was on it. Could have been equally 5-4 or 6-3. I don't, probably 6-3. I haven't seen that yet. But they just ruled 5-4 that a Chinese national can come to this country, give birth, and then leave. But that child will have it will be an American citizen. The only country in the nation that will allow this, and the Supreme Court just ruled 5-4 that, yep, it's allowed. No problem. You can come over, you can give birth. The Muslims are doing it like crazy out here. We see it all over the place. They're having birth here at higher rates than any of us are. What do you make of this, Jim? Yesterday I was very livid about this voting, mail-in ballot thing. I am equally as livid, but not as shocked because I kind of knew the way they were going to go on it.
Well, the first of all, the voting thing, it gives the Democrats an opportunity to see where they're at on election night.
Yep.
How many votes you have to come up with. Because you can't. We talked about this with California, right? Pratt, after the election day, how many did he have any votes after election day? How many came through for him? So obviously something happened there, right? There was nothing that so they can easily have a postmaster date it, and
just have them ready
out there
and ready to count, if they
ready to go, and they can decide what they want to do. And it just drives me nuts. And then the other one, the birth citizenship, I'm going to state that it was whatever they decided the 14th Amendment was, whatever they decided was in there. That's how they ruled on. So basically what this comes down to,
slavery, and I get all that, but
basically what this comes down to is you have to pass a bill.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Honest to God, absolutely. You got to pass a bill, and we don't have the balls in Congress right now. House, I think we do. I honestly think we could get one bill. How about throw this on for size, Congress? One bill. That one bill says you have to be a citizen of the United States if you're born in this. You cannot come in if you are illegal or if you are a visitor from another. If you have a child in this, that child does not instantly become an American citizen. One bill. I think it gets passed if the Senate nukes it like they should. All these things, it's not over. They can still do it by passing and making a law. Because then if it goes to the Supreme Court, there's not a damn thing they can do about it because it's a bill that
because it's a law.
It's a law.
There's not a damn thing. So your point is well taken and absolutely spot on what needs to happen. Of course, we know what's not going to happen.
Yeah,
the Republicans don't have the balls. John Thune doesn't have the balls or doesn't have the money stacked up enough to where he doesn't have the FU money yet, right? To where he can tell them, yep, we're going to do this. We're going to nuke the filibuster. We're going to go this route. It's never going to happen, Jim, because even if we maintain the House, which I think we will in the midterms, the Senate is iffy. But I think
I think the House, the Senate.
You think the House is worse?
Oh yeah.
You think there's a bigger chance with redistricting that we're going to lose the House still? So you think we're going to lose the House? This is breaking news, folks. Just in from Jim, because he was so I literally a week ago or 2 weeks ago, this guy was like, we're going to win the midterms. Now we're going to lose the House.
I think we're going to lose the House because the places that these people are running in, we've got a situation right now where we've got a country that is not putting America first. I'm sorry.
Of course not.
They're not putting America first.
You're right. You're right. This is not.
And that's what they ran on. That's what they ran on. And at this point, I mean,
optics are bad.
Yeah. And so, my negativity is completely out there. And I'm going to be honest with you. Rogers, El Sayed. If El Sayed wins, and it looks like he's going to, wins the primary for the Democrats, it'll be Rogers against El Sayed. If El Sayed wins Michigan as a senator,
and
in Michigan,
come on,
in Michigan, where President Trump should be popular in Michigan.
Should be with the auto industry. And
he got compliment from Gretchen Whitmer, the governor, when her State of the State address, when she was talking about how the auto industry is coming back. Well, it's coming back because of what President Trump has done. If El Sayed wins, in Michigan,
we're screwed.
What you would consider probably the moderate Democrat capital of the United States, moderate, is gone.
You would think it's moderate at this point, but when you look at Dearborn and all the cities that are being taken over by the Muslim,
that's another
population.
Right now, it's Dearborn, and there's parts, and there's other parts of Chicago or Detroit that has it. But I still think it's enough. But that race right there is most important. Collins is going to be fine.
I think so too.
And the reason I say
shit and Plattner's on. Yeah.
So President Trump, if you want to get those 4 senators on the SAVE Act to back off and side with you, Murkowski's the only one you're going to deal with. Tillis is on his way out. He doesn't care. Mitch McConnell's on his way out. Doesn't care. They both hate him. They're not going to do a damn thing. Today. Let it go. Collins is not going to do anything for President Trump at this point in time because she's in for the race of her life. So she's going to go against, so she can hang on to win. Yep. He's got to change Murkowski. He's got to find a way to change her. And she is very, this happens a lot with her where she holds out.
Yeah, I don't know how you want to say it. She's been very,
she gets something.
Yeah.
All right. She wants something. Okay. Well, you know what? If she's from Alaska, if I'm not mistaken, Trump won almost 70% of the Alaskan vote.
Correct.
So if it's 86% across this country, what do you think it is
in Alaska?
So I think you can manipulate that. I think you can get her, but you got to get her because the other 3 won't budge.
Some people are saying they think now that the ruling yesterday came with the mail-in ballots that they will pass the SAVE Act. They will nuke the filibuster. I'm like, who believes that? Like, what is the why? What makes you believe that? Because nothing the Republicans do in the Senate makes me believe they'll do a damn thing here.
Well, they got to do something. I mean, because right now this we're in trouble.
If they pass the SAVE Act, do they hold the House and Senate?
Yes, if they pass the SAVE Act, I truly believe it. However, it's not going to work in New York and
of course
California.
Not.
They're going to cheat. They're going to do whatever they're going to do. And we'll talk more when we come back because we're running.
Yeah, we got about 5 seconds for our final segment. Thank you for staying tuned here. We will be right back.
Me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Jim wasn't fast enough. We are back, folks. Thank you for joining us here. Jim, are you all set?
Yeah.
Okay. Folks, last segment here. Again, our thanks to Ann and Maureen for coming on. Again, the CPS pipeline, state-sanctioned kidnapping, America Made. Is it americamade.org or americamadefoundation.org?
Americanmadefoundation.org.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. I wanted to make sure I said that right. Okay, we've gone over the Supreme Court. That's it now for the Supreme Court's done. They're going to go on vacation. They're going to go do whatever they want. They're going to allow people to come over and have their babies. And then when those babies turn 18, which might turn into 16 or maybe even younger if the Democrats get the House and the Senate, they might vote.
Just read Peter Schweitzer's book. That's all you got to read.
That's all you got to do. Read that, and then you'll know what's happening here. And then once those anchor babies become 18 at a minimum currently, then they can mail in their ballot as long as it's postmarked before Election Day, and then they can count it a year later if they need to. So that's what the Supreme Court did for us this week. Men can't compete in women's sports. Big win. That is a big win. That's a big win.
It's a big win for the girls, especially girls in high school.
Correct.
Yeah,
and I'm glad it happened on the last day of Pride, right? But here we are. We won't be on. Well, of course, I won't be here next week at all. I'll be gone, so Jim will be hosting. But here we are on the week of our 250th anniversary. As a matter of fact, it was June 28th when the documents were actually presented to the forefathers for them to review and sign. So the start of it all, and of course before then, but the official Declaration of Independence was handed to them on the 28th of June, which I don't know if a lot of people know that or don't know that. Doesn't matter. My point is this whole process really leading up to this is what our country is becoming right now. The voting system screwed up, basically fucking over everybody. Honestly, any vote that you think counts or any free and fair election you think counts without the SAVE Act, and still I have zero confidence that's going to pass. And of course now anchor babies, which the Muslims are loving, and the Democrats are going to ramp this up because there's their voters in general. That's what they've left us with to celebrate on our 250th anniversary in the greatest country in the world.
Why do you think China donates to a lot of Congress?
To keep their babies. This is how this happens here.
Which is why communism is right around the corner.
Well, communism's already taken over parts of New York and parts of the other. It's and I don't want to say just New York. They're implanting these people across the country, and we're just sitting back and we're just letting it happen.
I have a question for you, though. Let's go back to Maureen and Ann and what they're doing, their fight with CPS. Let's say socialism takes over in New York.
Sure.
It has, but let's say it takes over in New York, California.
The city or the state, or are you just talking
the state?
General? Okay.
The city and state, because let's face it, what New York does, the rest of the state's going to do. It's just the way it happens. There's not enough people outside of New York to make a difference. Okay. So let's say socialism's out there. You have a child whose parent speaks against teaching LBG2 in school.
Correct.
I think you know where I'm going with this.
Yep, 100%.
And then you've got known conservative parents. How soon before that happens?
How soon? How soon before all of this? Exactly. How soon? Because I don't want you to teach my 6-year-old that it's okay for a man to sleep with a man. It's okay for you to change your gender. Or it's okay that the white man is leaving the black boy behind because he's the reason they're not passing school. Any of those, it's okay. I don't believe in abortion. Well, your kids are taken away. We can't. When does it come to that point? Because I agree with you, Jim. I think it's frightening to think about. I think it's not too far fetched to see that happening in the future at this point. And I don't think our Congress and the people that we've elected as leaders will do a damn thing to protect us in there. Nope. It's not going to happen.
There's too much money out there. So
where does that leave us, Jim? Where does that leave us?
What's like we were yesterday?
Hopeless?
I'm angry. If somebody needs to try to give me, and I get it, Sean Hannity. I get Jesse Waters, you guys out there think that socialism is going to ruin it and we're going to walk right through and win the midterms.
Bullshit.
I don't have your confidence.
I don't have your
if
confidence.
If they pass the SAVE Act,
wins all the time.
Even if they pass the SAVE Act, I still don't trust it because we know. Okay, so the Supreme Court said men can't compete in women's sports. Is that going to keep California from?
No.
Is that going to keep California from doing it?
Just like AOC wanted Biden to do.
Mom Donnie is not paying any attention to the Supreme Court, and he is not. He has got sanctuary for the Haitians. He said, I am not getting them out of here.
Now, whether he does or doesn't, and it's nice talk, and he might be, it might be a bunch of bullshit he's saying, and he will have no choice. They're not going to put him in jail over it.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's like, is there any hope? Okay, the Supreme Court, when we started reading on this stuff, and we started seeing that saw where Amy Coney Barrett comes in, and when we saw that, now that we see that it was Mitch McConnell, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention when her name just came out, and President Trump said, here we go. This was a Mitch McConnell forced, we need to get her in there, let's get it through, we can get her through quickly. Backfired. And now we look at John Roberts. He's compromised.
Oh, he's been compromised.
If the rumors about him with Epstein, if that's in there, I don't know. Those pictures could have been fake. I have no idea. All I'm saying is the man's compromised. Okay, so the man's compromised. So George W. Bush, which we know is not, as we looked in there, and I'm upset with how much I supported him when he was president. To look at what he's done now.
But the alternative was who? Al Gore?
Well, no. That's the point.
So I'm just saying,
that's the problem that we have, Dale.
Correct.
When you're voting for the lesser of the two evils,
which is the case most of the time,
and you have the evils winning, how does the good help? And maybe this is God's way.
How can Trump get done what he wants? These are common sense things. This should have been 2 wins this week for Trump. No, you cannot count a ballot after the election day. Simple stuff.
Okay,
and they even had exceptions for military and those traveling. Those were even in there, and they still.
Here's probably where I can get the counting after election day. I can get that. Okay, I don't like it, but I can.
And because I don't
fine.
like it doesn't mean it's not a law.
Okay,
I
fine.
understand that part.
Okay, but I do have a problem with the birthright citizenship. Because the 14th Amendment. You're not the Constitution, the Bill of Rights are not supposed to. They're not supposed to be. Well, we're going to interpret it this way.
I know
that's not, and that's what they did on this one. Okay, just because we've been doing it ever since then, doesn't mean it's right.
Correct.
It's meant we've been doing it wrong, and nobody's had the balls except for President Trump to stop it.
Correct.
So, so that's my one. The one about counting after the elections. Make a damn bill. If you're that upset about it, let's make a damn bill. Can we get enough? Yeah, I think we can.
You think you can get 60?
No.
Okay, so you got to do the filibuster.
So J.D. Vance needs to. Now, here's the thing. If J.D. Vance wants to, because right now I'm a little bit miffed about this whole Iran thing. I'm not going to lie.
Me too. I'm sick of it.
The United States, we are
blowing the hell out of water relief.
We are sitting here with the midterm coming up, that is I know we've been saying this for the last few years, but the absolute most important midterm in my lifetime.
In my lifetime.
Okay.
Maybe in the country's lifetime.
And they've lost track of America.
America first.
They've lost track of it. And I'm not sitting here saying it's an Israel war, because I don't know what it's like to be a small nation the size of Rhode Island, to be surrounded by countries that hate you.
Yep,
okay,
you're right.
I don't know what it's like to be that way, but I do know that I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my people and my country. Okay, so right or wrong, what Netanyahu's doing is beside the point. But how much? What do we have to do? Okay, what is it that we've got to do? Now, we've started this. We have Europe's not helping us. They're cowards beyond belief.
So what do you do now? You walk away? I mean, and Iran knows this. Iran knows this.
I know. Iran's watching what the Democrats are doing.
Correct. They know this. And they know they have an upper hand in that portion of it. We could blow them. They could be done in a minute. Honestly, they know we won't.
But What did you and I say when this first happened? When people were saying that
it's going to be an
President Trump,
boots on the ground kind of stuff.
President Trump said, we are not fighting Israel war. We have to make sure they don't get, and we sit there and we sit there and we sit there. I'm going to be completely honest with you, and I never thought I would ever say this in a million years. Iran is playing President Trump.
I believe they did, and I believe they may still be doing that, and I get that because the end game is very. I want to trust that he has one, right? I still want to trust that and believe that, but the optics are bad here at this point. Because we are less than 6 months from the midterms, and it must be America first. We must get back to that. It has to get back to that. And I don't disagree with blowing Iran off the face of the earth. I could give two shits about them. But we have to get back to the American first agenda here. And the American first agenda, albeit maybe, yes, we want to protect our allies, and that also helps America, and I get all that, but this is drug on too long, and I think at this point it needs to end one way or the other. Listen, the news cycles go by quick. If we end it now and walk away, you'll get a bunch of shit for it for a while, but something will change in news. Always does. We have short memories in this country. People will move on to something else. There'll be some other buffoonery going out there that people will drag onto, and they'll hate Trump no matter if he wins or loses. Doesn't matter to them. So
my thing is, let's supply weapons. Let's supply.
Let's support them that way.
Vehicles to Qatar. To UAE. Let's pray that they don't use it against us eventually.
Well, just like we always do when we supply.
But right at this point in time, I've had it. I have completely had it. Oh,
I have to.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I mean, we can run on to the end, but yes, we've done. Just a couple show notes, please, folks. If it's okay, I will not be here next week, so I really want to say to everybody, have a very safe and happy July 4th, Independence 250th birthday of our nation. Celebrate it because we should celebrate it. That's what it's all about. Our freedoms, what we bring to the world, what we bring to others, yes, should be celebrated. What this country has given me and my family, yes, thank God for it. And I'm still proud of it. It's the greatest country on earth. And I want to let people know that. We may bitch and we may bitch about things that happen here or there, and there are things wrong with it. That's for sure. But for the love of God, it's the best nation on the planet. People come here for a reason. So, Jim, to you and your family, happy.
Same to you.
Happy and safe.
Have safe, and you have a safe. You be safe next week.
I will. Good luck next week. Bill, to our producer, thank you for all you do. To Ann and Maureen, again, thank you so much for coming on. Stay tuned now for a lineup of podcasts. Joe the Box is coming up next, so he'll be here soon. Thank you for joining us on the America First Warehouse. Follow on the app. Download that app, TAFMC, the America First Media and Television Network. Follow us on Rumble. Like, follow, share on YouTube. Do everything you can. Thank you, Jim, for not getting kicked off of YouTube today. Appreciate that. And more on that. So, Jim, we're out of here. We've taken too long. So, bye, brother. Appreciate you.
Bye.
See you, everybody.
For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be. America First.
This is Two Guys, One Coup. Two guys, one coup, straight truth. No spin, just a clear-cut view. Headlines hit, we